Okay, we're here with one of the top managers in boxing, Sebastian Contursi. Sebastian, tell us about Brian Castano's training camp and the injury and everything that went to it. He looked good in his workout. He was good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough training camp from the beginning, but then the injury happened, and that really altered our plans completely because it was totally unexpected by any other injury, but this was a serious injury. So anyways, Dr. Hume, that's his name, Steve Hume, is a specialist in hands, and he treated Brian, and the results are very good. He kept the treatment, and he was very meticulous in his rehab. So, but other than that, it was a tough training camp because he's a tough trainer, I would say.
Charlo and Spence pretty much said that there was a different reason behind the postponement. He didn't believe the injury claim. He thought that you guys were hiding some kind of steroid. You guys were cheating. Did you catch wind of those comments from him? And what did you make of that? They asked Brian about it. They asked him. He felt that it was just it was BS, you know.
I wonder where he got all that BS from. That was totally disrespectful for all of us. Boxer to boxer, it was very disrespectful. But I'm not surprised because he's like that. He's that kind of person that lying and smearing people around, and that's the reason why he said that without any proof. You cannot even think of how much paperwork we have to produce to the WBO, to the promoters, to everyone here. It was a ton of papers like that with copies of the MRIs and all the medical exams that he had to take, and it was submitted, and we were even fighting with the WBO because they didn't want to do it for whatever reason, but now it's all water under the bridge, so I don't know, but I'm not surprised about it.
Yeah. Heading into this fight, there's a lot of stake, of course, undisputed status. We're asking Castano not looking past Charlo, but with the winner with Charlo, you guys are pretty much in the driver's seat. What do you do? What do you advise him to do? There's a lot of young fighters out there like Tim Tszyu and Fondora. What do you guys do with a win over Charlo?
I think it's too premature to think about that. We have a very big and important fight, so we are trying to focus on that. The only thing we can assure is these days, and with all the pressure from the sanctioning bodies and their mandatories, it's impossible to kept as a unified champion unless you're Floyd Mayweather or Canelo, those huge names. I think that sanctioning bodies would make exceptions for them, but probably not for us. So by now it's only Jermell Charlo in our minds.
What do you think of the rematch? How do you see things playing out? Do you think that Brian Castano has to bring a different kind of game plan, or do you feel that what you guys did in the first one, speaking to him, feeling that he won the first fight, do you feel that's good enough to win the rematch?
You always have to do more, and rematches are difficult and tricky because they kind of know each other now. So there's always room for improvement, and Brian has been working on that, and I'm sure he can bring more. Those are two aggressive fighters, and we'll see. Obviously, there's a few things that Brian needs to do in order to not leave the decision up to the judges, of course. And he's preparing for Plan B and Plan A because we don't know what Charlo has been screaming here, left and right, that he's going to be much more aggressive this time, and he's not going to be against the rope or
would that play into your hands if he is more aggressive? Would you want that?
We don't really care. I mean, Brian has been training for that, and for whatever Charlo brings to the ring, Brian is prepared.
What did you make of their altercation with Team Benavidez, David and his family?
Disgusting. From what I've seen, like everybody else on YouTube or TV, I don't remember. I think it was YouTube. I saw a child there, and it's totally unacceptable. Whenever, I mean, it's wrong altogether, but I can understand some altercation, a normal altercation, but when it's a child around their period, you don't do it. So to me, it was disgusting.
Yeah, last thing. What did you think of Tsu's performance and Fundora's? Obviously, those are guys in the division that you might have to face, like you said. The organizations might not allow for step-aside fights. You might have to go through them to get to the bigger prize, but what did you make of their performance?
Well, they're definitely the future of the division. Fundora was super impressive against a guy like Terrell Boucher, who's a great fighter, and he was impressive. I mean, Fundora fought Eric Lubin. Lubin, is southpaw, and he completely overwhelmed Lubin. And I think he's improving. He kept improving for the last 2 years. He's very impressive. Needless to say, his height, but I think he's improving a lot, and he really proved himself against Lubin. And as far as Tsu against Terrell Boucher, very tricky fighter that makes you think a lot. He didn't look good probably in the first 4 rounds.
He got dropped once. You guys spar Goucher. He's a Goucher's fighter.
Goucher has been sparring with Brian for like 2 years now, or 1.5 years. They help each other a lot, and it's very difficult. It's a very good fighter. So I think that Tsu really proved himself too. So they are definitely they're young, they're strong, and they are the future of this division.
Yeah. Last thing, maybe the biggest fight for you guys is the potential winner of Spence and Crawford. They are to fight. I know Crawford has stated that Spence wants Crawford next, Crawford wants Spence next, and they both stated that they want to move to 154. It looks like they have one more fight at 147. Would you guys entertain that? Is that possibly the biggest fight for Castano? Obviously not looking past Charlo, but the Spence Crawford winner.
Of course, they are huge fights, and Brian reached a level of competition that he needs, and he wants those fights. You're probably not gonna hear Brian Castano calling out names. His personality is too humble for that, and he really would, and that's something he told me like a few years ago, because remember, he beat Spence in the amateurs very convincingly, by the way. Not disrespect to Arrow. Arrow is a superstar, is a great fighter, but it's a wish that has developed inside Brian for quite some time. So
the
Spence fight, that would be the rematch in the pros, which is a completely different story. There's some history there, and of course he or Crawford. Those are the logical names when he beats Charlo.
Cool. Sebastian, appreciate the time, and thank you.
Thank you very much.